Smiths Falls, happy summer. How's it going for you? It's going all right for me. It's been a good summer with great weather, a few too many mosquitoes for my liking. Caught the coronavirus too. That finally caught up with me. But hey, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em, I guess. Anyway, now that that's behind me, I am ready to deliver my next episode of the Smiths Falls On podcast. This time we're talking to Mr. Chris McGuire. Town Councillor Chris McGuire, that is. Now, I did not invite him for his political prowess, but he did provide some very valuable insight on the whole sort of political scene here in town. I knew a little bit, but I didn't know everything. And for someone like me who rolled into town about 4 years ago, just after the last election, it was nice to hear some of these things because, well, we've got an election coming up. So if you're curious about that kind of stuff, good info for you here, but also good info about my buddy Chris. I didn't actually invite him on because he's a councillor. I just invite him because we always have good talks. Side note, he's a councillor, We've got an election coming up this October, and the deadline to join the race, whether you want to try and be mayor or try and get on town council or anything like that, August 19th. Go to the Smiths Falls town website and look it up if you think that kind of giving back is for you. So let's get into our talk with Mr. Chris McGuire. But first, a little word about our sponsors. Sponsor number one is Say2 Bakery. Go get some good eats over at Say2. Best cinnamon bun in town, according to my 5-year-old daughter. I'm inclined to agree with her myself. They've got a full menu there of breakfasts and lunch and catering options as well. The sky's the limit with Say2. Very easy to find as well, right downtown in the heart of Smiths Falls on Beckwith Street at the historic Rito Hotel. Say2bakery.com. Thanks for your support. Sponsor number two is Howard, Kelford, and Dubois, barristers and solicitors. Also, right downtown, they are your local lawyers. You buying a house, you starting a business, you writing a contract, maybe you got to sue somebody, maybe you got to defend against a lawsuit. What are your lawyer needs? They will help you. They'll walk you and talk you through it in a nice and friendly way. Check them out at valleylaw.ca. Howard, Kelford, and Dubois, thank you so much for your support of this show. And third, last but not least, is Andrus Independent Grocer. I buy all my food there. They feed me. I wouldn't be alive without them. And neither would this show. Thank you so much for your support, Andrus Independent Grocer. Check him out on Facebook and Instagram, and in person. Go shopping. Thanks to all our sponsors for making this show possible. And without further ado, my chat with Mr. Chris McGuire, Smiths Falls born and raised.
Well, it's great. I love chatting like this because you can really, really hear everything that each other is saying.
Yeah, well, I'm not the best at focusing sometimes, so this is like...
It's weird when when we're done talking, you'll take the headphones off and you'll feel like you've lost a sense, like your senses have been dulled. Anyway, you're on a podcast.
Cool.
I hit record a while ago.
Oh, jeez.
And that's how we do it here. We just chat. So let's chat, man. We've chatted a lot before, but I think there's still a lot I could learn about you. You born and raised here?
Born in Ottawa.
So when'd you move here?
I don't know. They just went to Ottawa for the birth. I guess that's what's on my birth certificate.
Oh, I see. So you were like went to the Ottawa hospital, but you...
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
They drove home from the hospital and came
back
to Smiths Falls. Okay, so you're born and raised in Smiths Falls.
Yeah. As they say.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're a town councillor.
For now.
Yeah, for now. Are you gonna go for it again?
I'm not sure.
Still undecided?
Yeah, there's August 19th, the sign-up deadline.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just weighing it, talking to people.
Yeah.
The first time you do something like that, you go into it all in, right? And the second time you go into it with eyes wide open.
Yeah, a little more trepidatious.
Well, it's the time commitment, the expectations, the knowledge of what went well and what hasn't, and what needs to happen going forward. And then also looking at who else is running, because it's a team sport, right? No one person makes any decisions up there. So that's a big part of it too. So
have many candidates been announced yet? I don't think, last I checked, there had been no official mayoral candidate.
Yeah, there's definitely people signed up. I don't know if the mayoral candidates have put in paperwork together, but I've seen on social media, there's rumblings, and I've signed some papers. So I think in the next little bit, we'll see that coming soon.
My friend Chance signed up, not for mayor, but I think for
he's going for
position.
councillor. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to hear his positions.
Yeah.
His platforms. I always like talking to Chance.
He's a radio guy, so I think he's going to have the best sound bites when he gets a microphone in front of him,
Yeah, I've had him out in this studio in front of a microphone before. He recorded some voiceovers for me one time.
Oh, he would have loved that. He's good at it too.
Yeah, he's got a nice gravelly voice.
Yeah.
I like that guy. But he's the only one I've heard. He's the only one I've heard so far that's thrown their hat.
Yeah, I've seen Jennifer Miller.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I heard her mention that, but I didn't see that it was public yet. But yeah, I did. I did hear about that.
I think she's got on, her papers are up, and I saw she had a Facebook page going around this afternoon. So it's starting to heat up. Like the election's not till October 24th. So how much of a marathon can you handle?
4 years. When I first moved into town, there were like when I was house shopping, all the campaign signs were still up.
No way.
Yeah. That's what, because we were house shopping here in like late September 2018.
Wow.
So all the campaign, and then we didn't move in until January, so the election was like over. We didn't get to vote.
Okay.
Because we weren't residents yet.
So
this will be my first Smiths Falls vote.
Well, that's exciting. It's
exciting for me.
It's funny because it doesn't feel like you guys have been around so long now, and you've contributed so much that it just feels like you guys have been around forever, And I say like the whole Arts Hub, all of this influx of people that have moved to town, and like the Canopy turnaround has been about that same 4-year thing. So it's crazy how things change when they stay the same for so long, and then when the change happens, it happens quick.
Yeah, and I feel like there's been so much change in the past 4 years. Like I feel. Yeah, I mean, you've lived your whole life, so correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't necessarily know what I'm talking about, because I've only been here for 4 years. But I feel like the amount of change that's happened to this town in the last 4 or 5 years is probably the largest, quickest amount of change that has probably ever happened to this town. Except maybe for when, when Hershey first rolled into town, I don't know.
Yeah, that's something, I was born in 90, so in my 30-some years, for sure, because it was so, it was the same for so long, and then when Hershey's left, that recession or whatever you'd call it for the town, that was another 10 years, and that was almost negative change, right? It was just trying to keep things going.
Yeah.
But wow, 4 years and it's wild. Look at it.
Yeah. So you would have been like high school, right? During like some of the, I guess, what people tend to refer to as some of the worst years of this town.
Yeah. So I actually graduated right around things closing, and then I went to Montreal for school. So I was home on the summers, but I wasn't here for the brunt of it. I know the thing that really hit home for me when things were changing was that there was 2,000 some jobs in that 1 year between all the plants and the hospital and everything. And I remember going to a Chinese buffet, and usually your friends would be picking up the plates, right? Yeah. And one of my friend's parents were picking up the plates, and that, or even just an acquaintance really. But that's where it kind of hit home. It's like, okay, things have shifted here. The workforce has shifted for sure. And then just as quick, it turns around again. It's just such a boom and bust cycle, as TVO has highlighted.
So where'd you go to school? You go to Montreal, you said. Was that McGill, Concordia?
Yeah, so I started in mechanical engineering at McGill.
Okay.
And I was really immature. I'm still kind of immature, but I was just looking at it. All the programs seemed really similar. I was going to do some kind of engineering. I thought mechanical seemed like a good one.
Yeah.
So for me, it was kind of Montreal or Toronto. Which city do I want to go to? Because I wanted to change. A lot of friends were going to the Eastern Ontario schools, but for whatever reason, I had it in my head I wanted to get out and see something. And I like Montreal as a city better than Toronto. So I went to Montreal. I like the hockey team better.
Yeah.
It just seemed a terrible reason to pick a school, right? And in hindsight, so anyway, I end up in downtown Montreal. I'm going to mechanical engineering. I've in this class of hundreds and hundreds of kids, and I'm really struggling with it because, coming from high school, there's no deadlines. There's no, hand it in when you feel like it. And now you're a number, and you've got to all these hoops to jump through and all these standards to meet. And it was a struggle, but I found when you're driving into Montreal, there's this farm and it's beautiful, and it's the McDonald campus of the university. So they've got the agricultural environmental science stuff out there.
Yeah.
So I switched into bioresource engineering, and that was like a mechanical civil course mix, but water, agriculture, environment stuff, which
irrigation.
Yeah, they have that. I didn't focus on that. I did more water resources and agriculture.
Yeah.
But it's wild. This one engineering program, because it's got all these specializations, like I'm doing water resource engineering with rivers and dams. My younger brother, all four of us went to the same program. So the next one is working at Canopy as a post-harvest agricultural something.
Yeah.
The next one's doing environmental engineering at a mine, and the other one just got a job doing robotic dairy farming. So
cool.
So it was just cool to have all of those.
So 4 brothers.
Yeah. Yeah. All went to the same program.
Any sisters?
No,
just four boys.
Yeah, I don't know how they planned that.
I don't think you do plan that.
No, I wouldn't plan that.
I have a couple friends who have 4 daughters each, and they get together and there's 8 girls running around. It's crazy.
Yeah, like that's like I don't know.
We had 1 boy and 1 girl, and pulled the plug after that. That was good.
Yeah,
yeah. That ticks the boxes for us. Two's enough. So went to school in Montreal, and then you move right back here after school?
Yeah, so I don't know why I did that in hindsight, because you know what I mean? You're in your mid-20s, and but there was something about, I really enjoyed living in Montreal, and the longer I lived there, the more I appreciated the food and the arts and the culture and the parks, and it's a great city, very livable city.
I would have picked Montreal over Toronto. That would have been an easy decision for me. I like Montreal way better than Toronto.
Oh, it's and the amount it's changed in the last 5-10 years, like, is incredible for the best. You know what I mean? They've got a great mayor right now, and the bike lanes are incredible there. The Arcade Fire just played last weekend at Osheaga. Like, you just don't get that kind of stuff everywhere, right? So it's neat to have it this close to home. But yeah, so no, I came back. I was kind of after doing 5 years of school, I was ready to work, you know, ready to put it to use. And I had this like, I need to get back to town. I need to get a house. I need to get all these life things checked off, boxes checked off. And in hindsight, it's like, I should have gone traveling. I should have gone out west and skied for a winter. I should have, I could have, would have, but no, I came back. But the great thing was that was right when things were starting to, that was just when there was rumblings of Canopy 2014.
Yeah.
There was, there was something in the air at that point. So, and I was able to get a house before things went crazy. So that was good.
So what made you want to run for council?
That's, it was a combination of different things. I think I didn't fully appreciate Smith Falls until I lived in Montreal. Because it's not until you leave that you can kind of come back with a different lens, right?
Yeah,
and you can apply the things as you've traveled and all the rest. So coming back, it was this place full of potential. You know, you've got the Rideau Canal, you've got these museums, you've got all of this stuff, you've got the parks. It's amazing when people from the 905 come through here and like they love the parks, and it's like I take it for granted because it's what I'm used to. And sometimes when it's what it's used to, it's easier to see the defects than the asset of it, right?
Yeah, of course. We take things for granted.
Yeah. So it just seemed like there was a lot of untapped potential. And then I definitely had my frustrations with the last council and the way certain decisions went. And it seemed like, okay, well, it's time to step up and put some weight behind I was writing letters to the editor about different stuff. I was pretty involved in committees, and it just seemed like a logical next step.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was with rose-colored glasses, right? Because until you're sitting at that table, you really have no idea. I think of some of the emails I had sent out to the council before, and in hindsight, it's like, oh man, what was I thinking there? I didn't have as big of a picture as they had access to from my perspective. So that that's definitely one thing. And then with the whole, it's been a tumultuous 4 years. There's been a lot of ups and downs politically in the town, and I think we talk about all this change, but really, change moves at the speed of trust, and sometimes those two haven't come forward in parallel. So it's been a huge learning experience, bigger than going to school. But when I think back on what got me into it, it was a lot of rose-colored. I thought it was going to be. I'm not sure if I knew what I was getting into, but I was enthusiastic about it. So
now you do know what you're getting into, and you're undecided as whether you're going to attempt to get that into that again or not. But there's like 2.5 weeks left, right? 2.5 weeks left to decide. So other people out there that are spinning it around in their minds, that are maybe gonna, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try. What's your advice to somebody like that who's undecided yet? Who, what should they know?
They need to know it's a huge time commitment. It's like having a full-time job, and there's no way that the honorarium or the monthly check you get is ever going to equate to the hours you put into it. So if the financial consideration of it is significant, or if that's what's weighing you, maybe it's not the best. But if you're passionate about something, put your name in, get your ideas organized, get your pamphlet or your platform together. Democracy only works if we're all doing something, right? We all have a voice, but we also all have the responsibility of using that voice effectively. And this is the time that this is the one time every 4 years that the votes are taken, right? So if you've got that passion, I would go for it. I would, however it's meant to work out, it'll work out. But there's, and especially if you don't see yourself represented up there, that's why we need you up there. I'm sure it can be discouraging. I found it discouraging, not seeing a lot of diversity up there, and especially in past councils. And we think we've had 7 women on council since the founding of the town, and 3 of them are up there right now. So, I don't know. That's a hard question. It's really specific to the person too, I guess. But.
Yeah. Well, I think that's some good advice. Now, what about flipping to, say, the voters' side? Like me, for instance, I mentioned I saw signs on lawns 4 years ago when I was driving through town looking at houses. But when you talk about candidates who have put their hat in the ring, how are they sharing their platform? What's the best way as a citizen for me to really vet the candidates? How do I really know what I'm getting into? And what happens in town that I might not know about? Like, what is there a public, do they do it? Is there like a debate? Is there a night at the community center that everybody can go to? And what are the various ways to absorb the platforms and the messages of the candidates?
Yeah, so the debate's the big one.
Okay.
The problem with the debate, in my view, is that you've got, I think the last time we had 13 candidates up there, and we had an hour and a half. I don't think it was 2 hours. Anyway, but it's a short amount of time for 13 people. So you're never going to get everybody's opinion on everything. And how it worked last time was that a topic would come up, a question would come up, 3 or 4 people could ring in on it, and then it was on to the next one. So you didn't even get a consistent sampling across the board.
Right.
So tuning into the debate, I think, is critical, especially for mayor, because there's generally less candidates, right? So that you get I think they went, the 2 of them went for a good hour, if not more. But for candidates, for me, it's like I put a lot of effort into my pamphlet last time.
Yeah.
To me, that was the platform. That was, okay, this is the best I can come up with to organize my thoughts.
So are most of the candidates doing pamphlets then?
I don't know, because for me, it was pamphlets and door knocking.
Yeah.
As a new name on the ballot, I wanted to meet as many people as I could at the door, and I wanted to give them the pamphlet, and if they wanted to talk more, we could talk more, but you get that one-on-one interaction. And it's a small enough town that if you start knocking in August, you can get most of it done, especially if you've got some help by the end of the campaign.
Right.
But then, you've got Facebook. Facebook can be a nuts. The whole I had to get off it back after getting elected because I couldn't keep up with it anymore.
Yeah.
It was too much negativity getting fed in. I wasn't able to think straight and process that. So I don't know if I'm going to re-engage on that, but it's hard to ignore it, right? Everybody's on there.
Yeah. So where does the debate happen?
Debate happened last time at Settlers Ridge Center.
Okay.
At the Rotary Hall there.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know, like all of that stuff. I haven't heard anything on what it's going to be like for this year, but.
And was it was broadcast as well?
Yeah, it was broadcast on Cogeco. I assume it was posted online. Amazing turnout. Like you look at, everybody likes to talk about disengagement or voter turnout or this or that, but that hall was full. The mall was busy that night. So yeah, it's great to see that. Hopefully we get it again this year.
Now, is it the tendency for people running for council to like endorse like a mayoral candidate or another or not, or how's that work?
It really depends on who's running.
So it's up to them. They might express support for one candidate or the other, or they might just keep their lips sealed. Or
I think if you look at the pamphlets or you look at people's materials, whatever they produce, you can kind of see. Yeah. But I don't know, because it's not a party politics system, right? Yeah. So it's whoever gets elected has to work together and has to come up with consensus to make things happen. So I could see how that could be counterproductive.
I'm
for me
a big
personally.
Fan of no parties myself. I hate political parties. I hate the whole like towing the line, sort of have to agree with. I would be so much happier if every riding I could just vote independently, and then all those people were forced to find a way to get along. Yeah. Later. So I'm good with that. I wouldn't want to see party. I mean, especially if you got 13, 14 candidates. It's like. And so it's just, there's barely enough people there for one party.
Yeah, like it's and it's not there's no consolidation of power in the leader's office the way you see it provincial, federal. Yeah. So, the mayor's got the same vote as every councillor, and anybody needs 3 other people to agree with them to get something passed.
So if the mayor has the same amount of weight voting in council, like what makes him special? Him or her, that person. What makes that position special? No, what makes them mayor?
That's a good question. I've never, I haven't looked at it that specifically because I've never really, I've never looked at going for that kind of a position. Yeah. So I'm not as familiar with it. I think it comes with a lot of influence, and it comes with a lot of a bigger presence in the community. Like you think of all of the important pictures, all of the important events, when somebody's, and it's in a really important role as kind of spokesperson because, when something like Canopy's coming to town, that's the first point of contact. There's all kinds of point of contacts with the mayor that give that first impression of the community. So really important role. Definitely a full-time job with the amount of hours that go into it. And, but then on the flip side, not a ton of, there's no strong mayor system the way they're talking about in Ottawa and Toronto. So you know what I mean? The drawbacks are that you don't have that veto power. You don't have, but also that keeps it from getting adversarial, I think, right? It keeps the mayor having to work with the council to build consensus on issues and not just hammering through a platform.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm learning a lot.
You thinking of running?
I don't think so. Sometimes, I do think about it sometimes. I've thought about it before, but I don't think I'm going to do that. No, I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't think it's for me. I don't like to do too many regular things. I like to do a lot of different things all the time. So, putting out a podcast twice a month is regular enough for me, I think.
Nice.
I think I'm going to stick to that. think I'm going to stick to that. Maybe I'll invite some candidates on, though. Maybe I'll do like a group show. We can have a debate.
That'd be cool.
On a podcast or something like that. I don't know. I don't love to get too political. I'm not here to have fights, you know?
Yeah.
I'm here to have fun talks. And beers. You want a beer? They're probably cold by now.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to grab a beer. Okay. We'll just put a little sound effect in and a cut for my 15-second walk to the fridge. I'll be right back. Good old Pilsner.
It's a classic. I haven't had one of these in years.
Yeah, I used to work. It's a Molson product. Didn't used to be, but Molson bought them.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
So I used to drink it a lot because I worked for Molson for a number of years.
No way, eh?
And when it was like out doing like events and stuff, like I got to go to the Coors Light Mystery Mansion.
Oh.
And like the Maxim golf tournaments and stuff like that. And when we were out on gigs, I was kind of mandated to drink Molson products. Like the corporate people would get mad if they saw me drinking like a Labatt Blue or a Keith's or something. So I always had to drink Molson products, and I don't really like drinking Coors Light, so I would drink Pilsner, yeah, because it's a Molson product.
Okay.
Sometimes I would drink Rickard's Red because it's a Molson product, or Rickard's White, which is no longer. Rickard's White is now Belgian Moon.
Oh, is that what happened there?
Same beer, exact same beer. Yeah, that's what happened there. Because what actually happened is it's a beer in the States called Blue Moon.
Okay.
You ever had that?
No.
It's a very popular. It was a microbrew, got bought up by Molson because it was so popular, and that Blue Moon is like the beer that popularized the whole idea of an orange slice on the beer, because it's based on a Belgian wit, which is brewed with some orange peel in the recipe and stuff, and some coriander, and it's a wheat beer, Belgian style. And yeah, they did the orange slice, and like I met the original brewmaster from Blue Moon, and he, like, when he started, I think it started in like, was it Boston? It's like Boston or maybe Cincinnati, some American city with a baseball team. And he used to go to the bars and deliver them oranges because none of them wanted to buy. Like, why am I going to buy oranges? We're a bar. We don't buy oranges. We buy lemons and we buy limes, not oranges. So he would like always have to, like, he spent the first like couple of years stocking them with oranges because otherwise they wouldn't do it in the beer. And then it caught on and took it. Now everybody does it. Now everybody has oranges for putting on, you know, be it a Blue Moon or a Rickard's White or a Shock Top or those Belgian style beers. But when they wanted to move that beer to Canada, I think it was like a trademark issue with Labatt Blue.
Okay.
They're like, well, you can't release Blue Moon. There's too much. They'll think it's like a variation of blue, because basically Labatt owns the word blue in association with beer. So they couldn't call it Blue Moon. So they needed somewhere else to put it, and they called it Rickard's White.
Wow. That's because I remember Rickard's White, and there was something about Rickard's, like you think Rickard's, you think the amber. Mm-hmm. So the white it never clicked. Yeah, they wound up, because they wound up, I think they came out with a Rickard's Blonde, maybe. They had a Rickard's Dark, and then they did the Rickard's White. Yep. Yeah. And it's called, did they actually call it a white beer? They call it a wit, which I think is just like Belgian for wheat. Okay. But sounds and looks like the word white, so they call it a white beer. It's usually got a pretty frothy head on it too, which sort of lasts longer than on a lager or something. So the top of your beer is whiter longer, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, they called it Belgian or Rickard's White. And it didn't really take off. Rickard's White was like, there's a little interest when it first came out, especially because of the oranges, but then it just never really took off. I think it's because it's more of like a hipster microbrew kind of beer snob kind of beer, and Rickard's doesn't have that association. So, but then the beer is that kind of beer. So the people who like the simplicity of like a Rickard's didn't like the beer, and the people who like the beer didn't like the branding. So they rebranded it. Now it's Belgian Moon, and the logo and the colors looks all identical to Blue Moon. They've just like the word, instead of the word blue there, it's Belgian. Wow. So it's exact same beer though. Blue Moon, Rickard's White, Belgian Moon, all the exact same beer, same recipe. I love those stories where it's like, there's so many things you have no idea went into the thought behind the branding and the product. Yeah. Like I would be one of those people where I like the beer, but I didn't like the branding. Yeah. And, if a Belgian moon, a hot patio, it's a great option. But I had no idea there was this whole...
Branding's an interesting thing, man. It can take you a long way. I was having this talk just the other day about beer specifically. We're drinking Pilsner. It's fine. It's a fine beer. It's a very drinkable beer. It's a very beery beer. It's just it's not pulling any punches. It's just a beer, an affordable beer at that, which is the biggest reason I buy them. Not because of how amazingly good they are, but because of how amazingly affordable they are. And they're completely drinkable.
Yep.
But you could have a completely drinkable beer. Could be, maybe it's an ale, maybe it's a lager, who cares? It's a drinkable beer. And you might call it one thing or another thing. And if you call it B instead of A, you might sell twice as much.
Yeah. It's wild.
Remember when Barks root beer came out? You probably don't. You would have been 2 years old when Barks root beer came out. What am I even asking?
It's been out as long as I can remember.
Yeah, I remember when it came out, and I'm actually confusing it with a beer. There was a beer that reminded me a lot of Barks branding. It was called Red Dog beer. And it was this commercial had this real ugly looking bulldog come on, and this real low grunt Red Dog beer, and it sold really well. It was a shitty beer, but it sold really well when the branding came out. Because it's cool, it's Red Dog beer, And I don't know, one of the beers I really like when I buy at the LCBO, I buy it all the time. It's called Bone Shaker. It's a cool name. It's a strong IPA. I like IPAs. It's not necessarily any better than another strong IPA. But if it was on the shelf and you could buy Bone Shaker, or you could have the exact same liquid in another can called Pink Butterfly, a lot of people, they're going to buy one or the other. Some people are going to prefer Pink Butterfly. I would drink Pink Butterfly, but the sales are going to be different just based on the name, just based on the branding,
I like the Bone Shaker bike on it, right? They've got the full package of the
skeleton
branding.
Riding a bike.
Yeah.
Love it. Amsterdam Brewery, I think, makes that.
I think so, in Toronto, eh?
Yeah.
They've got the 3-speed too?
Yeah, that's the lighter cruiser version, the session version of Bone Shaker, basically, I think.
They got a bike beer for every occasion.
So, what kind of beers do you like?
I'm not picky. I like I like it when there's a menu you can kind of pick for what you're, what you want for a sunny afternoon is going to be different than an evening or the season or etc. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have that, I don't look for a certain thing. It's kind of, okay, what am I feeling? What am I eating? What am I, and then sometimes the choice works, sometimes it doesn't, but that's the fun, right?
Yep. I'm a lot like that. I used to be really into dark beers, not so much anymore. I found them a little too sweet. I'm into more bitter things these days.
Yeah,
beer. But I like a good classic, just easy drinking Pilsner like this. I got a soft spot in my heart for Labatt 50.
Yeah,
that's what I used to drink at the punk rock bars in Ottawa.
Oh, cool.
And then, but yeah, a good beer fit for the occasion is always nice, for sure. Checked out the post office yet?
Yeah.
Yeah? What'd you think?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It, that corner booth.
Yeah.
You can have a party there. You've got, seeing that space too. I remember getting down there, they gave us a tour, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago for council of the building, kind of gutted. And, there was a vault down there for the mailroom. Yeah. They've incorporated all of this stuff into it. And the way they've been able to put this down there and make this complete transformation without affecting the outside architecture, there's no tacky sign hanging off the side of it. There's no change to the windows or the you really get that speakeasy feel as you're going down the stairs.
Yeah, it's fun.
That kind of stuff. I could never have imagined something like that, 10 years ago.
Well, it seems like it's been real popular so far. I've had the fortune of getting out there a few times. A couple exclusive visits too. I got to go to the early menu tasting night, the pre-opening menu tasting night. And I've been helping Jill over there take some pictures and stuff, so I've gotten some sneak peeks at it. But love that place.
So you're the man behind all of these shots on social media and stuff.
Yeah, I took.
Awesome.
Well, not all of them. Some of them are just from her. I mean, iPhones take great pictures these days. But yeah, most of the. If you go to the website, all the photos on the website, and I'd say probably about 80% of the Instagram photos are shots I took. Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, I have fun with the camera. It's nice. It's one of the different things I like to do. Fill up my time with.
When you're not doing the sound on Russell Street, or
yeah, I do sound. I'm working on a movie right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's the story there?
It's a horror movie. It's being shot just like outside of Spencerville. It's my buddy Doug. He's a Cockney chimney sweep. Well, former chimney sweep. Now he's making movies.
Seriously?
Yeah. He left chimney sweeping behind to make movies. And he had some success. He made a movie called Stealing Chaplin. And it's no blockbuster or anything, but they sold it to a streaming network. You can watch it on Tubi.
Cool.
Tubi's a free streaming network. I think it has like commercials, but anyway, it's a movie about two like con men who decide to grave rob Charlie Chaplin's body, which is actually a true story that happened. And then hold the body for ransom. Yeah, it's a comedy. You're supposed to laugh. Yeah, it's a comedy. And then they made just a horror movie. They made a horror movie. People get lost in the woods. They get captured. They get hacked up by meat cleavers. A slasher flick. And it's called Butchers. And it got sold to Amazon Prime.
Wow.
And so you can watch it on Amazon Prime. And it's doing okay. And so they got 2 sequels ordered. So I'm working on Butchers 2. Being shot in the woods outside Spencerville.
Do you think there's more movies happening in Eastern Ontario these days, or is it just...
yeah, for sure.
There is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. My brother-in-law he works with a film crew in Ottawa. He's their locations manager.
Good.
And he was like the stuff that filmed in town, not like the TVO stuff, but like there were 2 Hallmark movies that shot in town. And I say Hallmark movies as a bit of colloquialism. I don't think they were actual Hallmark movies, but that's the lingo. They get called Hallmark movies, whether they're for Lifetime or actual Hallmark, just those kinds of movies. The one that shot at the train station here in town, that was, what was it called? I can't remember what it was called, which is bad because my brother was one of the actors in it. My brother-in-law was the locations manager.
Wow.
My brother is an actor, and he was one of the leads in it. Not the leads, but he played like the older brother. And that was like the first. It was a Lifetime movie. And it was Lifetime's first ever LGBT movie.
Oh, it was the first
ever that Lifetime has ever made or aired. It was like a typical Christmas romance movie, but the leads were 2 men, and that was a first for Lifetime. So that shot in town. My brother was in it, and my brother-in-law was the locations manager. And then they shot another one. I don't know, some other Christmas movie. I think it was something about dogs or something. That shot just around the corner from my house. They used a house on Maple.
Oh wow! Eh?
Yeah, they got like a whole setup. Like they dust it because they shoot so many in the summer. So they're dusting the properties with like fake snow and putting up Christmas lights, and they winterize, they Christmasify these places and make them look like winter and summer.
I find when I watch that stuff, I get the most enjoyment out of just seeing the familiar setting.
Yeah.
You try to see, okay, where's that? Where's this?
Yeah.
It's amazing how they were able to make the railway museum look like it's all like the lighting, and it's incredible.
Yeah,
right?
I'd love if it looked like that, like from every angle, every day, all the time.
Yeah.
We should get film crews in this town to like spruce up this whole town. We need some urban planning done. But yeah, a lot like, and they like small towns there's such good settings to film in. There's so many good visuals. And so there is a lot more stuff happening in these, not only in Eastern Ontario, because that is true, because especially the Ottawa scene is growing quite a bit. People are people started making movies in Toronto and Vancouver. Why? Because it was so much cheaper than doing it in LA.
Yeah.
And that gap is closing.
Really?
Well, I mean, when it costs like $3,000 a month for a bachelor apartment in Vancouver, that sort of sets the tone of the whole economy, right?
Okay.
So if those are rental prices, like what do movies have to do but rent out sets?
Yeah, fair. I think of the dollar as being that, but you don't think of the cost of living.
It's all a part of it, So I mean, it's probably still. I'm not saying it's not cheaper at this point to film in Vancouver versus LA, but I mean the truth is a lot of the sort of savings that they get are like tax incentives from the government, and tax breaks. That's where they're getting a lot of the savings. So they're getting money back because they're government incentives. They want that industry to come to town and try to help bolster the economy. And so, that happens on a smaller scale too. And we see that, we're seeing more stuff being shot in this town. It's a nice place. Just like we were saying earlier, people come in from out of town. It's like, this place is beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, it's beautiful on camera too. So it's a great place to shoot movies. And we're going to see, I think we're going to see a lot more of that over the next few years in this town. Especially because I've heard from my brother-in-law, who's a locations manager, and they've shot in Carleton Place a lot. They've shot in Almont a ton, but they can only shoot in one place for so long before the novelty wears off to the locals.
Yeah, yeah.
And they call that burning a town.
Really?
Yeah. So he was telling me, he was like, yeah, we pretty much burned Almont. When they first come in, you want to shoot a movie in our little town? Oh, so cool. Yeah. And then 2 years later, you're shutting down the street again.
Yeah.
I've seen how angry some people get just from trying to shut down Russell Street for one Saturday night to have a street party,
Yeah.
Imagine shutting down a thing for a whole week just so some rich company can make a crappy TV movie.
We're still at that phase where we're flattered they picked us. It's welcome.
Yeah, we'll be into it. But yeah, eventually the town gets tired of it. But I was just having a chat. I was having a chat with somebody from town about that. They were just wondering that they're thinking about creating some sort of film policy for town. More policy.
We love policy.
But I think more as a means to simplify and incentivize people to come to town, which I think at its core is a pretty good idea. There's a lot of resources in this town that I think a lot of locations managers and filmmakers are not even aware of. It'd be fun to see more stuff happen in this town like that.
Yeah, it's amazing even seeing the pictures. You're scrolling on Instagram and you see an angle or a location that somebody's noticed and they've snapped, and it's like, wow, that's at home. Yeah. I got to walk over there. So then you take it to that next level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So water treatment, what is your day job?
So I'm a I don't know. What's my, I just switched to the federal government. So, I'm working on dams and rivers, and
okay.
They need engineering work done on them. And, I'm pretty new, so I'm still figuring it out, but neat structures and we see it in town, right? We've got the canal going through. I don't work on anything in town, but the same stuff, and with work from home, you can be working on a dam or a river anywhere almost.
Right. So you're full work from home now?
Full work from home unless I need to be at a site.
Yeah.
Cool.
So when did you make the switch?
May 9th.
And where were you before?
I was at a conservation authority in Carleton Place. So Mississippi Valley Conservation Authority. They got, that's a cool river because there's not a ton of development on it upstream of Carleton Place. So they had 11 dams, and they had some dams for OPG that they'd operate. But it's neat because every time a storm system comes through, there's different conditions. Every spring, if you've got high water, you've got interesting stuff to manage. And
so is floodplain management the primary goal of these dams?
It depends. Some of them are just purely recreational. They've been built because back in the logging days, you'd need a dam to push the logs down the river. Yeah. Other ones are for hydro generation. And then other ones are just a combination of, this time of year, they're doing more recreation stuff. This time of year, they're doing more hydro generation. This time of year, they're doing flood mitigation. It's, it's interesting. And then you compare it to the Rideau Canal, where you've got navigation's the primary, right? There's you don't have that same kind of mix. Everybody else has to kind of work around the navigation. But we've got a lot of rivers in Canada, and they're all interesting. That's I guess why I got into it.
So then, like, in a day of work for you, like, what's really, like, you focused on the site and figuring out how to get the right kind of dam installed, or are you like designing new dam technologies?
So it could be, it really depends what your role is. And especially in the smaller organizations, it's, you've got a bunch of different hats to wear.
Yeah.
If you're doing water management's the day-to-day decision-making on what logs going in what dam to, usually there's something called a water management plan. So you've got this water management plan to follow, and it's based on, what the residents around the lake want, what the hydro producers need, what the fish need. And so you go in every morning and you check the levels, and sometimes when things are really moving or if a storm comes through, it's really dynamic. But then if it hasn't rained in 2 weeks and things are stable, it doesn't take as much time. These assets, like any assets, are aging. And so there's a lot of capital projects too, right? Where there's kind of interesting rebuilds, or could we rebuild this dam into a weir so it's less maintenance and less operating cost?
What's a weir?
A weir is just like a set level that the water flows over, so it's not adjustable.
Gotcha.
So you think Carleton Place, there's one right downtown beside the dam. In Smith Falls, all of the locks have a dam beside them, but I can't think of a good example in town. I think they're all dams. I don't know if I haven't looked at them that closely.
But a weir would be like sounds like reminds me of an infinity pool. Have you ever seen one of those?
No, it's
when they build a pool.
Okay.
Like a swimming pool.
Yeah.
It's usually like in the hills, and it's usually near the ocean. Might be like a couple kilometers away from the ocean, but like up in the hills.
Yeah.
And then they basically, you fill the whole pool up, and then the side that is facing outwards from the hill and towards the ocean, the water goes right up to the edge so that it spills.
Okay, I've seen pictures
over the edge, and then there's a secondary sort of band around that side of the pool that catches the water, and so you're not just losing water all the time.
Yeah.
Cycles it back in, but because it's always like right at like surface tension level, right, basically constantly spilling over. When you're like in the pool and you look at the ocean and look at the horizon, it appears as if the ocean is just turning into your pool. Hence the infinity part.
So it's got little weir. It's like a weir around the edge of it.
Yeah.
There
it's
you go.
Pool.
A weir pool. You get the knockoffs on the market there.
They're fancy.
I've seen pictures of it, but I can't imagine. I don't know. Maybe we need one in town.
I don't think we have the right landscape for an infinity pool in town. Maybe the people who live like, by their backyards have that big hill.
Yep.
By Lower Reach.
Yep. Yeah.
You could build an infinity pool maybe there. If you put it in just the right spot so that the perspective lined up with the Rideau.
Looks down towards Kilmarnock.
Yeah, you could maybe have an infinity pool there, an infinity weir. So you like working with water?
Yeah, it was something that when I was going to school, I got an internship, and it was a really hands-on practical application for all this theoretical stuff I was learning, and I've just kind of gone from there. But it's pretty niche, right? So it's good with work from home. There's a bit more options because it's not like there's 100 jobs to pick from or anything in the area. So it's funny how you get into stuff. You kind of make one decision and that leads to another.
No, I've done a lot of different jobs. It's interesting where you wind up sometimes. For years I wound up with a secondary expertise in auto parts quality assurance.
Wow.
That's the job. I started working in factories a lot when I was a musician, and I'd have to pick up temp work in between tours and gigs and stuff. I just sort of fell into that and It's like opportunity to make more money, get a promotion, do more, and went up doing a lot of auto parts inspection, especially on chrome parts. Checking for, it was down in Guelph. Yeah.
Wow.
I lived there before I moved up here. Check parts for Lexus and GMC and Ford and Toyota.
Like your resume's got to be just a conversation piece on itself. With you got Molson, you got
yeah. I've done a lot. Sometimes, like I'm talking with my wife, and I'll bring up like something that I used to. I'm like, yeah, I know about that. I used to do that for a living. She's like, no, you didn't. Like, yeah, I totally did that for like a while. Chased hot air balloons for a little while.
How do you chase hot air balloons?
You have to chase hot air balloons because you don't know where they're going to land.
Oh, you're chasing them from the ground to see where it's going to...
You start with them and you help them take off and the pilot goes, but like you can't steer a hot air balloon. You just go. You can decide like timing of when you want to land. So you got to chase it and then you're on walkie-talkies, and the pilot will radio down to you and be like, I found, like, I'm going to land in this field over there. It lines up with my path, and I'll change the heat so we land in that field over there. Then you have to go and knock on, like, the farmhouse door that owns that field to ask their permission to land in their field because it's private property. And 99 times out of 100, they say yes. And you gift the farmer a bottle of champagne.
Nice.
Because when you land, everybody celebrates their hot air balloon trip by cheersing with a glass of champagne. So you bring 2 bottles, one for the passengers and one for the farmer that let you land in his field.
One of the perks of being a farmer, I never...
Yeah. I'm sure it doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
Most farmers probably have never had it happen. Probably depends on... I'm sure there's a lot of farmers that have it multiple times because they're in that sort of wind path on the regular.
When it depends the crop too, right? If you had corn or wheat or something ready to go, like
you can't land a hot air balloon in a cornfield.
Not comfortably.
Got a text I need to respond to. It's about work tomorrow.
You don't have the holiday,
eh? Well, I don't know. That's what I'm figuring out. They're telling me.
Is this your work? Like, or is this something else?
Is the podcast my work?
No, the studio.
The studio. I mean, the studio is definitely part of my work. I've recorded a couple records in here for bands and artists. I do some video work back here. I teach drum lessons back here. But these days, like I said, I've been working on that movie. That's what I was just texting about, was that movie.
Oh, okay.
Deciding whether they're going to shoot tomorrow or not on the holiday. And then I do a certain amount of real estate videos these days.
Oh, you've got the drone shots.
I do the drone shots for the houses. A lot of sort of larger acreages and waterfront properties and stuff that benefit from that type of footage.
Neat.
Do some voiceovers. But this podcast is work too. Yeah, it's work. Got some sponsors on board this year. It's it's paying its way.
It's exciting to hear.
It's growing. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm happy for myself. Yeah.
I'm happy for you too.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Well, it's a cool thing that never existed before, and just I guess somebody's got to do all that stuff, right? But when you get to meet the person, and
we lost our radio station.
Well, we lost it a while ago.
Well, well, we lost the last sort of semblance of it, I think. I mean, they still claim to be a Smiths Falls station, or that they cover Smiths Falls just because they happen to broadcast here and announce what temperature it is in Smiths Falls.
I feel like it's a CRTC thing where that's the place name on the license, maybe, or is that fair?
I don't think so.
Huh.
I don't think it's because the license is for the... I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, like they did broadcast here and still do, but their tower, like they don't broadcast from a local tower. Like I think their tower is in like Bell's Corners now.
Yeah, okay.
And so when they are like saying who they service, is like they say like, I think they say like Ottawa, Canada, and Stitts Falls or something, or Ottawa, Carleton Place, and Smiths Falls. But they list like little bits of Smiths Falls news and the Smiths Falls weather and stuff. And it's a station that my mom listened to before they made that switch. She's like, she called me up one day. She's like, we're talking about Smiths Falls now. When did this become, why am I hearing about you? I'm like, it's because this thing happened with the radio station. They used to broadcast from a town. Now they don't.
Huh.
And that was right around the time I decided to start this thing up, when we lost any sort of local radio. Thought we needed something like this.
Oh, interesting. Have you worked in radio before, or is that
a little bit, like not worked. I wouldn't say worked. I used to host a community college, not a community college, but a college radio station, a show it was actually in Ottawa U.
Oh, cool.
CFRU, I think it's called.
Yeah.
CFRU. CKCU, it's Carleton. Ottawa,
CKCU.
CHUO.
CHUO, that's
CHUO.
it. Yeah.
I don't know what CFRU is. It's something. CHUO, though. Yeah. Used to host like a Saturdays at midnight. It's a heavy metal radio show.
Aggressive.
Yeah, I hosted it with my buddy. It was called Force Fed. He hosted it for a long time. I joined him for like a year or two. And then I've done like a little bit of other podcast stuff outside of this podcast here and there. And I'm definitely no stranger to like recording voices. I've done a bunch of voiceover stuff. Even done a couple of cartoon voices here and there.
Cool.
Yeah, it's fun. Fun stuff. So, you play a little bit of music?
Well, I play piano, but not, nothing.
But you play piano?
Yeah, it's a hobby. I used to play at the church there. That was the only venue that was interested. But,
didn't you tell me one time you were playing at like funerals?
Yep. Yeah, funerals are the best because everybody's always happy.
Yeah.
Weddings, it's like you can, weddings are high pressure and sometimes...
Interesting. What do you mean they're always happy? I thought people were sad at funerals.
They're always happy with the music.
Gotcha. They're always happy with the job you've done.
I've never had negative feedback at a funeral.
Right.
And the funeral songs are slower.
Yeah.
So that makes them easier to play.
Mm-hmm.
And they're usually not as, a wedding's booked a year or two in advance, or a funeral's a couple of days. So there's not that expectation of...
But that's more than a hobby. That's a gig, right? They pay you money?
Not really. Like
they don't pay you money.
Well, it depends, right? It's more of a friends or family.
Okay.
Sometimes there's money, sometimes there isn't. But it's only like I'd only do it at the church I go to, and
But you have received pay in exchange for playing music.
Yes, I guess.
So you're a pro musician.
Yeah.
You're a pro musician. You're a professional.
I never thought of it that way. Professional funeral musician.
I knew this girl. And she was like a singer-songwriter, and she had bands and stuff, doing that for years. She played funerals all the time. She said a lot of the same stuff you do. She's like, funerals are the best gigs. Everybody's always happy. I feel like I'm making a difference in that event.
Yeah, it's a meaningful liturgy.
There's meaning to it, and she was always they pay great too. They're dropping these people are dropping $6,000 on a casket. They have no problem with my fee.
Wow. Yeah. Funerals are expensive. Like I don't understand I don't know. I don't have that motivation to go out and spend what I spent more than what I spent on a car on a casket
I
to go in the
wouldn't want
ground.
to do that. I kind of want to build my own casket.
Me too. I've always thought could you get the pine or just build one, if you had a loved one that needed one, because it can't be that hard to put one together.
Amber, my lovely wife, when she did the Starter Company Plus program here in town when we were first starting this place, and one of the participants in that program was can't remember the name of the company, but it was a casket company.
Okay,
and it was like a sustainable materials, affordable, eco-friendly casket company. So it's like for about I don't know what the price was, but I know caskets can get pretty expensive. So I think it was like maybe $1,500. You get like a casket kit and can build your own casket.
Cool.
That was their whole business idea. I don't know what they're doing now. I don't know how it took off, but I remember thinking it was pretty neat. But I've always thought it would be cool. It'd be sort of an interesting exercise for confronting your own mortality.
Yeah.
To build the box that they're going to put you in.
And I feel
with your
like
own hands.
It's an industry that hasn't had a lot of disruption that, I don't know, is probably ready for something. I guess cremation's big now, right? So that takes the casket out of it completely.
Cremation's really big, yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I'll get cremated or not.
Living around here where we have lots of space, I'll probably be out on Highway 15 there and whenever my time comes.
I think I'd like to be stuffed and mounted.
Interesting. That
in an attack position.
And how do the kids feel about this?
Well, they'd probably like seeing me around. I'd still be technically huggable. Fine. I'll change it. I won't be in attack position. I'll be in hug position. I'll just be like, have my arms kind of out there so you can slip in for a hug. Yeah. So anybody who's missing a hug from me can still go get one anytime.
But the attack position is a hug position too for anybody that
can. We could go for like both. Big bear hug. Yeah.
Those things don't age well and they're hard to clean.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Then there'd be a matter of finding somebody who specializes in human taxidermy.
I wouldn't even want to meet that person. That's a horror movie plot right there.
Yeah. Maybe it should stick to that horror movie plot. I know some guys making horror movies. Maybe I'll pitch the idea. But you play piano.
Yeah.
How long have you been playing piano?
Since I was 6. I'm glad, like going through it. I remember there was times where I wasn't as into it, and my parents, they get you to stick with it. And I'm really glad because now it's like riding a bike, right? You can sit down in front of a piano and you can't, I can get enjoyment out of it. I can, play along with it. And, that's awesome. It's one of those things where you don't appreciate it as you're going through, when you're a kid growing up with it, but
you go the whole conservatory route? Or?
Yeah. The conservatory, like, what did I do? I guess I started in grade 1 and then I went to grade 8, and then at grade 8 I was like, I'm done with this. I don't want to be a music teacher. But the day that I made the connection that, triads were chords, it's like mind blown. Why has nobody showed me this?
That was my first lesson, and that's pretty much where I stopped. I can play chords.
Yeah.
That's about it. And then I can play arpeggios, which are just chords, one note at a time, and that's basically what I can do. Only in C.
Okay.
I never touch a black key. I only play the white ones.
Nice.
That's as far as I've gotten.
But it's like anything, right? If you can get down there and express yourself, mission accomplished, right?
Yeah, it does the trick for what I need, because I only hop on the piano a certain amount of time anyway, because I'm a guitar player first, but sometimes it's nice to hop down and on the piano bench and just get that different feel and instrumentation. It's a good songwriting tool for me, I find. But the songs are all in the same key.
Nice, yeah.
I can do it on a digital, and I can then transpose on my computer really easy, because I record the MIDI, so I can move the key around for a song like that if I need to. But in terms of my fingers, I can't. I have not. My brain has not absorbed the sharps. It's different on guitar. It doesn't matter. You can transpose on a guitar on the fly anytime you want. You want to play it one semitone higher, that's fine. Just slide your hand up 1 inch and play everything identically. You have to learn everything 12 different ways on the piano.
Yeah.
If you want to be able to play in truly every key.
Yeah. When the singer and the guitar player decide they want it a little lower, a little higher, and you're scrambling to read.
Exactly. That scrambling doesn't exist on a guitar. You just move your capo.
Yeah. I don't have any stringed experience like guitar. Like I see them moving it around. I know it can change the key for them, but it's just the sharp. I mean, the sharps and flats are all there, but they're not squished into a different shape and different position. They're just the next note on the guitar. So when I'm on a guitar, I'm not really thinking of sharps and flats, because even when I didn't really learn how to read music on guitar, but I did learn how to read tab, which is just like, instead of having 5 lines,
And then dots that are either on a line or in between the lines. There's 6 lines. Why? Because there's 6 strings on a guitar. And then instead of there being a note, they just put a number. And that's the fret that your finger should be on.
Oh, neat.
That's how guitar tab works. So with that way, you're not thinking sharp, flat, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You're just thinking 0 means I don't put a finger down. 1 means I put a finger down on the first fret. 9 on this line means I put the 9th fret on that string. It's just really a very simple manual for playing whatever you want on the guitar, but with no thought of sharps, flats, keys, anything. It's just this is what you play.
Nice.
So that's how I did guitar, was tab.
Cool.
You can just move anything around you want. You can move it anywhere you want. Piano, way harder. So I just have a bit of a block on trying to learn that. I kind of want to have this idea where I'd like to get a whole bunch of more like black keys.
Yeah.
And glue them to the tops of the white keys so that I just have like 88 black keys.
To get started.
So then I can just play them from the mindset of a guitar player.
Okay.
Because then I'll probably even put like little circle dots on the black keys in the same like intervals that they are on the neck of a guitar.
But once you get going on it, I feel like I wouldn't want to lose that differentiation because it's a placeholder, right? When you especially
I mean, like it would make it way harder to try and play without looking at what you're playing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things on the piano is like you can always know where you are just sort of by kind of brailing it, you know?
Yeah.
Finding your position because there's 3 black keys here and there's 2 here. I know where I am.
It's like feeling those bumps on the computer keyboard. And...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's you don't get to do that on guitar, and I can still play guitar with my eyes closed. It's just a matter of practice. So
I guess
I think you'd get it. I think you'd get it. Or maybe I could like make some of the black keys like just a little bit longer, so you still had that ability to sort of rub by them and figure out where you are. Oh, probably won't work. It's probably a stupid idea, but
create your whole new instrument.
Anyway. Yeah. Buddy of mine's building a bunch of instruments right now. I think the idea of building your own instruments is really cool, and not just the idea of like I'm going to build my own guitar, but like I'm going to build a thing that makes cool sounds that doesn't have a name like a guitar because nobody's ever made one before.
Yeah, like if you can make it vibrate or you can make it.
Like tubes that you cut to different lengths.
Like those street performers you can see. It's amazing what they can do with buckets, like drumming on the buckets with the different tones they create. And so like anything's possible with music, right?
I thought about doing a bucket drumming class here, like a group.
Cool.
Like 10 people, like all like banging. Follow these patterns sort of thing, speed them up slowly. Basic stuff. But just fun, tribal, sort of rhythmic.
Great introduction to...
I got the idea from my mom because she used to take a drumming class. And it was like a drummer size class. And I think in her class, they didn't hit buckets. They used actual drumsticks, but I think they were hitting like yoga balls or something. I think they're playing on yoga balls. Interesting, eh?
I've never seen that.
I think I have that right. But she loved it. It was just so much fun. They didn't play anything that was hard to play. And it was like a lot of big arm movements. So like you weren't even worried about having like good drummer technique. It was just good exercise. Broke a sweat. Played along to the rhythm. I thought that'd be really fun for a lot of people.
Be good to get that. Like it's always hard to get a drummer. It's like the goalie, right? Mm-hmm. And
hot commodity.
Yeah, and it's especially for church gigs, if you call them that. But yeah, it's not something that's out there. But when you're playing with the drums and the drums keeping everybody on beat, it's such a game changer. It elevates it so much. Even like a djembe or just anything really gives you that gives you that rhythm that you can kind of, at least on the keyboard, it kind of frees you up for other stuff. Right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it gives you that backbone.
Yeah.
I mean, piano's percussion. So when you're playing by yourself, or if you have no other percussion, you kind of become a bit of the rhythm section on piano. So if you have somebody taking over the rhythm in a more strong way and you get to lean on that, yeah, I can totally see that. Change the feel for sure. That's like when you playing piano with a full band versus playing piano by yourself. Way different, right? You're going to play a lot more simply, a lot more basic, straightforward chords when there's like a guitar in there or a bassoon in there or a clarinet or oboe player or whoever else filling up all that space. Can't step on each other's toes too much, you know? You gotta leave room.
When you get to do like really simple stuff, but really powerful, like you get to really focus on what your sound is.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm playing alone, I've got like big, heavy bass to fill in the back. It's
So what kind of music do you like to listen to?
It'd be easier to say what kind of music do I not really like to listen to.
So what kind of music do you not like to listen to?
I have a hard time. I really like lyrics. So I have a hard time getting into certain, like, there's electronic music I can get into if I'm in a certain mood for it, but I wouldn't say that I don't dive into that genre the way I could a lot of others. And then hip hop's one where I've never had that I don't know, I've never had that exposure to it in a way that opened it up for me, I guess. So I have a hard time really getting into it. But yeah, my playlist would be all over the place. It's I was having this conversation earlier today, actually. I don't know. I really like I really like anything with good lyrics or musical, like instrumental stuff, like the Celtic stuff. Anything with a fiddle's great. This bluegrass stuff that's moved to town, I want to check that out more because it's another thing that I've never really had a lot of exposure to. But we've got a bunch of guys moving to town that do that.
I don't know if I've ever met anybody who's told me that they hate bluegrass.
Oh, I have.
Have you?
Yeah,
I never have.
I don't know.
I find it a pretty like if I mention jazz, it's probably like 70-30.
Really?
70% hate.
Really?
Yeah.
But that's like
jazz is a pretty hated kind of music, I think.
It's such a backbone.
Yeah, it is for sure. And then you got the typical like I like everything except for hip hop and country.
See, country and country's, controversial. Are we talking like the poppy?
Yeah, you know what? I think that's where it always seems to go. No, not the poppy stuff. Let's just say that. Not the pop. Like you like Johnny Cash?
Who doesn't, right?
Yeah, so you like country.
Yeah.
So right, who doesn't? So everybody likes country because everybody likes Johnny Cash.
I think up until, I don't know, somewhere in the 2000s, some in the new millennium, the country, it just got too poppy.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that way in like the 80s and 90s, but these days I would take the 80s and 90s pop country over today's pop country for sure.
I remember riding on the school bus, and the school bus driver, like, this is when I was a kid, I don't know, 10 or 11, 12, and elementary school, and they'd always have the country station on, and that was the Smith Falls station, and it was awful. It was the worst stuff. And I don't know if it's nostalgia or what, but when I moved to Montreal, I hated country until I moved to Montreal, and then there was something about living in the city that it was like nostalgia or whatever. That opened me up to it, and then I got into the country classics. I got into the 90s stuff, and I was like, "Oh, there's some good stuff in here." Like, not
there was some really, even out of radio country, there was some good stuff that came out of there. I mean, Garth Brooks is one of the best to ever do it. He's so good. And I liked a little bit of, I don't know, Alan Jackson. Maybe he was okay. Shania Twain had some good songs.
Yeah, she.
But some of the stuff that comes out today, I just, I don't know. I don't like to like shit on it too much because then I just feel like, makes me feel old. Makes me feel old to like sit here and complain about the new music coming out and talk about how music from my day was better. That just makes me feel old.
But I don't
like to spend too much time doing that. But,
like, it's not a paintbrush. Like, I could say, like Arcade Fire's new album came out, right? Really interesting stuff on there. It's brand new.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the most like the softest stuff they've come out with to date. For, you know what I mean? Like maybe a little bit of that country sound or acoustic sound to it.
Yeah.
But I have no problem with that. I love digging into that, and kind of, it's the kind of thing where you'd listen to it start to finish album, right? And try to see what they're trying to share. And, but I can't, there's not very many country albums I can get that out of. Yeah.
See, like when I grew up, I like from a young age, I assumed I hated country because I would turn on the country radio station, or it would come on, or I'd go by it, and I would hate what I heard. But the music, like some of my first musical loves were like John Fogerty, and Steve Earle, and I didn't know they were country. I literally, until like I grew up and then got nostalgic about that music, I pulled up Steve Earle on iTunes. This was like a couple years into iTunes. I pulled him up on iTunes, like I'm looking for this album I really like from Steve Earle. And I'm like, why do they have this in the country section? Steve Earle in the country section. What? And then I'm sitting here thinking about it. It's like I had just never categorized him when I was 7 years old, listening to him on tape in my dad's car. Just never thought about it. And today, like I listen to it, I'm like, oh, that's a big reverby snare. Oh, that's a pedal steel. Oh, there's some mandolin. There's some fiddle. This is country.
Yeah.
And it just hit me as soon as like, oh, it is country, but it's just like, I didn't understand that I was like raised on country music, essentially. I just hated the radio stuff.
Yeah.
That I thought was country music. So that sort of opened me. That was like the moment that sort of opened me back up to a bunch of other stuff I think I was probably avoiding, because it was like at that point for so long, it felt like part of my identity to hate country music.
Yeah, me too.
And then I realized, oh, I don't hate it. I just hate the stuff I hate. And there's lots of good stuff, and the floodgates kind of open from there. And then shortly after that, do you listen to any Ray LaMontagne?
Yep. Yeah.
He did a country record.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's awesome. I love that's probably my favorite record he's ever done. And that's God Willin' and the Creek Don't Rise. Yeah. Good record. Yeah. Ray LaMontagne and the Pariah Dogs.
Yeah.
I saw him tour that record too. I saw him play with Gord Downie and Daniel Lanois.
Wow. What year would that have been now?
That would have been, it was my son's first concert, so that would have been 11 years ago.
Wow.
That would have been 2011.
It's, no, it's cool. Like I really liked, back when Tom Power was on CBC in the mornings, that was right around, I remember coming back, like I came back from university, I was listening to that on my drive to work, and I was like, it was just a great opportunity to hear new stuff. And that's where I was exposed to somebody like Ray LaMontagne for the first time. And then, I don't know, since he's gone to Q, it's been kind of up and down and hit and miss, but that was a huge asset. You know what I mean? Just that morning, you get your 20 minutes each way, you get like a dose of some new music, some Canadian music.
I miss that. I miss having real person kind of trustworthy and like tastemakers.
Got my fingers crossed for Davina Doyle. I hope she can. I don't know. She another East Coaster, you know.
Is she doing a radio?
She's doing now? CBC mornings now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But I don't commute, so I don't have an excuse to listen.
I've met her a few times. She's nice.
I had to Google how to pronounce. Well, you know what I mean. It's like, how do you spell this?
Yeah, I always called her Damnate.
Yeah.
And I only learned like maybe in the last couple of years that it's pronounced however you said it there. How is it said?
Oh, don't make me.
Davenant?
I think it's Davenant.
Yeah, I think that sounds right, even though there's no presence of a V in the word. Gaelic, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if that's
it's a weird language.
A lost one for me, but no, it's neat. You know what was really cool that popped up recently is over on Rideau Avenue where have you seen the stencil?
No.
Oh, it's got Gord Downie on it, and it's what is it? It's a quote from Grace 2. And it was just like, it just popped up one day and I was like, wow, that's awesome.
Cool.
Speaking of Canadian music.
How's your beer? You need another one?
I'm afraid to drink it in the microphone. I'm going to get a big gulp of...
No. I've killed mine.
Okay.
Yeah, you just drink. Just when I'm talking, just listen. And
you got to sneak it in, eh?
And if there is something on the microphone, I can cut it out. I make everything sound pretty. I cut out ums. I cut out ums and mouth smacks.
We got to get you live doing this at the council meetings where you can, it goes through the filter, all the ums and ahs.
Yeah. Your beer's okay though? You don't need another one? No, I'm going to get another one.
It's pretty much full.
Mine's almost gone. I'll be right back. So you see yourself living in this town a long time?
Yeah, I've always, there's just been something about it. I don't know how to put a finger on it, but it's always been home, right?
Yep.
And especially now that it's growing and people are arriving and it's starting to see some of that potential realized. It's never been a better time to live here, right? Like there's never been more to do. There's never been more to see. There's never been more people to meet. So I don't know. It's funny when I think about work, being able to have a reasonable commute from here, work from home from here, is definitely a consideration. I don't know. I definitely wish I had traveled a bit more before, I got to this point, but yeah, there's everything you could want here. The quality of life that I have here, I couldn't recreate anywhere else, for owning a house and being able to hop my bike and come down and, get right downtown in a couple minutes, or go down to the water, put on your bathing suit, go for a swim. Cottage country's right on our back door. 10 minutes to go.
And you got a cottage, don't you?
My parents have a place, yeah. But everybody does. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everybody knows somebody, or an uncle or a friend or whatever. There's so many lakes around, right?
Yeah, totally.
So all of that kind of comes in. The only thing it's missing that, in a perfect world, there'd be a world-class ski mountain behind us.
Right. That was going to be my next question. That's sort of the question I ask everybody. Is like, what do you think is missing in this town? What do you think it needs, Now, let me ask you again, though, because I don't think we're going to be able to make that happen. It's not impossible. They build them in Japan and stuff, like indoor ski hills and stuff. But I don't see us, unless we wind up striking some deal to take like every other town's garbage to build a mountain out of it that we can ski on. I don't think we're going to get a ski hill anytime soon. I mean, Pakenham's not that far away.
Yeah, no, I mean mountains. Yeah, Mont Ste. Marie's great skiing close to home. Yeah. Tremblay's not too far, but
how long does Mont Ste. Marie take from here?
2 hours.
Yeah,
if the roads are clean.
That's a bit much.
It isn't.
I used to go there from Ottawa.
It's an hour there, right?
Hour was like perfect.
We get for learning how to ski, you can't beat. You got Calabogie, you got Camp Fortune, you got Cascade, Edelweiss, all within that kind of hour to a half range.
Yeah.
But I see it with the ski club where you've got kids learning to ski. They get to that point where Mont Ste. Marie is worth that extra half-hour drive for them because it just gives them that terrain that pushes them.
Yeah.
And we can't, to go to Tremblant is too much, but it's not something realistic. Like you gotta, no place you live is going to be perfect. And at the end of the day, the mountains aren't home for me. So
what do you think we need in this town? What do you think's missing that we could realistically get?
Oh, good question. That's what I'm asking people right now, right? If I'm going to run, that's what I need to know.
Occupants in the mall?
Yeah. Hey, in my lifetime, this is one of the better times for the mall. Like
it is, eh?
It seems.
What used to be in the big box part of the
it
mall?
was Target.
It was a Target.
Yeah, okay. Zellers,
but that didn't
was a
last
Target.
Long. Target was real short-lived, but it was a Zellers, so it was a Zellers for a long time then.
Built for a Zellers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when Zellers. It was like an institution. It had the little restaurant in the back of it.
Yeah.
And then Target came in and really cleaned it up and brought in the Starbucks, and it was very...
So how long was Target here? Like 2 years?
Not long enough.
They're only in Canada for like a year or two.
Yeah, it was just that
operation. That was a joke.
It's too bad. It's things like Staples. Like we used to have a Staples out there, right? And the Staples, I think if they would have hung on another year or two, they would have got into that canopy boom, and they'd probably still be there.
Yeah.
But that's life. But to have a brewery, to have I think there's a paint store now.
Yeah, there's a brewery, there's a paint store, there's a dollar store, there's a diner.
Yeah.
There's a gym.
Cell phones.
There's a grocery store. There's a cell phone store now. There's a dentist.
Yep. Yeah. And everybody's gotten their driver test there. When I was 16, that's where we went. You go get your G1.
Right.
So
the question still remains.
Yeah, no, I'm stalling on this one. I guess it depends. Like, are you talking like my lens is more municipal stuff, right? So like, is it in the municipal lens or is it in a regional thing? Like,
I don't know. You decide, man.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think we need? What do you think would be like a realistic thing to get and have in this town in the next year that would be doable?
In a year.
It could be something small. It could be like, we need a sushi joint, or it could be we need a camera store. What do we need? We got like a cocktail bar at the post office now.
Okay.
We got a music club from Bowie's. We've got a place to send your kids for music lessons. We've got a great bakery.
We need fine dining.
Fine dining.
We need that evening, you're having a special occasion.
Yeah.
Because people are still driving out of town for that experience.
I drove out of town. I drove to Perth last week. It was just like, I've eaten at the Vault twice last week, and I went to Boston Pizza already this week. Like, I went to Michael's Table over in Perth. It was great. Loved it.
Yeah.
And even that's still pretty casual dining, but.
Well, and I mean more I love the Vault, the Sunday night for the roast beef. You can't eat that. But for that kind of, I don't know if it's a birthday or an anniversary or that, maybe you're driving to Carlton Place for the Black Tartan. Or you're going to the Stone Cellar in Perth or the Bistro
somewhere
54.
With cloth napkins.
Yeah. That, somewhere where you're going to spend a good chunk of change, but you're going to get a really great meal and it's going to be that special occasion, right?
Yeah.
Not that we got lots of options in town.
No, I think you're right, though. I think you're right. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to take your girlfriend for dinner if you want to propose?
Yeah,
in this town.
Well, then take that a step further. What do we need in 5-10 years? Where are you going to go to get married?
Yeah.
What where's your Codes Mill or where's that banquet hall?
Yeah. Totally.
So yeah, if we're talking commercial stuff, that and then there's all kinds of food. Like we could get some Thai food. We could get sushi. There's well, I guess the new place on William there is started doing some takeout sushi.
Which place?
The Captain's.
Oh, the Captain's Sea Selection.
Yeah,
he's doing sushi now too, right?
Yeah.
I heard they had to move. I heard they're like.
I'm not sure. They
made a Facebook post saying they're looking for a new location.
I've been really one of the biggest things that makes me not want to run again is having to get back on Facebook. Like I check it a little bit, but it's I get down the rabbit holes, right? Because everybody's commenting. You read a newspaper article, but then there's all these comments under it.
Yeah, you can't read the comments. You got to stay with read the content.
The best
stay
is
away from the comments.
The best though, like I'm addicted to it in the sense where you read a comment and somebody's like, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And then you see them in town, like, oh, it's so nice to see you. It's where's the comment?
A little bit of two-faced kind of. People, keyboard warriors feel really safe behind the glass of their computer screen. Not that they should feel unsafe any other time, but they should be nicer.
It's like a different world, I guess, and it's just being able to process that and and if anything, it bothers me. It's probably rooted in my own, lack of confidence with stuff than anything. So but yeah, no. So I don't know. Municipally, if you're going to say something in a year or two, our parks still need that.
Some sprucing up.
Yeah.
I can see that.
They're not accessible. They're not. Stuff isn't being maintained. that's something that's been really frustrating. But we got some play structures coming, and hopefully that is the start and not
when's
the finish.
When's that band shell supposed to be done?
Oh, it's been a bit of a nightmare with COVID and the rest. So the last time it came to council, it was the tender came back at like $324,000. Mm-hmm. So we can't spend that kind of money on a bandstand. And they had proposed to do like a prefab kind of gazebo thing, mm-hmm. but that's not what they asked for. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, I was actually in Marmora this afternoon where they have something pretty similar to what we're looking for that looks, it's not brand new, but it's mm-hmm. not 100 years old.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's something. There's certain things with like COVID's such an extenuating situation. Mm-hmm. Is it better to just push it through and spend all kinds of money and get something that you didn't really, that the person donating the money didn't even really want? Mm-hmm. Or do you, in the grand scheme of things, what's another year to get it done right?
Yeah, totally.
But I have confidence that that's going to be in the next year or so. That whole town square is going to be a cool space. Mm-hmm. Perfect
I'm
for
looking forward to it. I can pretty much see that from my
front
steps.
That's true. That new intersection's going to be in. It's crazy to see that all dug up now. It's
not too long now. I mean, they booked the celebration already, so they better be done by October 1st.
I'm excited for October 1st. It's going to be great. Have you been involved at all yet, or?
Involved, not so much. I've heard, I've intercepted some communications about some of the entertainment planning about it. Still in its preliminary stages, but and I've chatted a little bit with Nora from the DBA, who's I think driving the ship for the most part for that event, the celebratory event back on Beckwith.
I hope. I can't believe the way that the sound on Russell. Like when you're there, what do you got, an iPad or something? You're kind of going around doing your
mixed from an iPad. It's all wireless.
It's amazing. It's like to get that kind of sound quality, in an open street with no acoustics.
It's great. We're plugged into the same sound mixer that I was using for that right now.
Oh, wow.
I do my podcast on it too. Yeah. Technology.
Can do anything. Yeah.
So you were sleeping on some steps for a while.
Yes.
You want to tell me about that?
Yeah, no, it's been a while now. So it's at the point where, and all the cards are on the table, right? Yeah. So that was one of those things, when you run for council, it's one of those things you don't expect to happen or foresee happening. Mm-hmm. I was a member of the St. Francis Church. Mm-hmm. I was a member of council, and as a member of council, I really saw there was a lot of people with housing insecurity, with subpar housing. The housing issue in Smith Falls, it's been well documented and well, and I think prioritized.
Yeah.
So you've got this vacant building that has been, the school's moved out, the new school's been built, mm-hmm. and the ownership's been transferred to the church. And the church had a lot of concerns about if we lose our parking lot, we'll lose our congregation, because especially with an elderly congregation and accessibility issues that come with that, it's a very real need that you need parking to get into the building.
Yeah.
On the other side of it is you've had this building that was built, in the Cold War era. I don't know if you saw when it came down, it had the double steel, it had concrete,
no,
brick.
I missed the demo myself, but
that building was meant to withstand a blast almost, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful gym in the basement. And it was really interesting because I had the chance to walk through the building with Chris Samir, who buys schools and turns them into apartments. Apparently classrooms make really good conversions because each classroom is roughly 2 units, and there you go. Then add into it the fact you've got a not-for-profit housing corporation that was looking to work with somebody. It just, to me, everything was coming together in a way that there was this huge opportunity for a win-win-win.
Yeah.
Even to reconfigure the street parking, because it was set up for school buses, right? So you could have reconfigured the whole street parking on that block to maximize service to the church and provide what would be needed for a housing development. Fortunately, that wasn't communicated. You know what I mean? That wasn't like, it just didn't, it broke down. The point for me that put me on the steps was, I didn't feel from the information I had access to was being put out to the community. So I wrote the letter to the editor and laid it out. And then for the Advent is the season before Christmas. So, 4 weekends and then Christmas. So for those four weekends and Christmas Eve, I slept on the steps. Really great response from the community. Not a great response, from the organization, and which I was a part of. I guess technically I still am a part of. I don't know how that works. I've been going to, I found since then it's been easier to go. I've been visiting other churches in the area and going there. So that, it got to the point where nobody wanted to have the conversation, and each side was, there wasn't clear signals for communication, so there was no opportunity. And to spend $700,000 to tear something down, when there was an opportunity to serve the community and serve the parking needs, it's hard, but it's not. It's a part of the human experience, right? Sometimes we make decisions that serve our own needs more than others, and to me, from my perspective, that this was one of those situations.
Yeah, I saw that they. I think I saw this. Did they make some kind of donation? Felt like almost a bit of a. Sorry, we didn't go that way, but here's a donation for affordable housing or something like that. I'm
not sure, because I haven't been a full part of it. I know so the Anglican Church made a big donation, right? They made a big $500,000 donation to
maybe that's what I saw then.
The development. I know the Archdiocese of Kingston is making a donation to the food hub, and that was through the Archdiocese Lenten collection. Okay. The list of people that were getting, or organizations getting funded from that, was from a young adult social justice committee from the Archdiocese, which I had the pleasure of getting to be a part of. So that's kind of separate from the local decision making.
Yeah.
But obviously I was on that committee, and I thought this is something really meaningful that could have funding, but I wouldn't take it as a consolation prize. It's just two separate things that, But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it's kind of over now, and it's kind of I don't know if it was worth it or not. I know if I didn't get as out there about it, I probably have regrets that I could have done more. Yeah. But at the same time, there's been a huge price to pay, and with different relationships and a community that has been a big part of my life for as long as I can remember. It's been hard through that, and but like everything, I'm sure.
Well, I commend you. I commend you for standing up for what you felt was important and getting a message out. A lot of people wouldn't do that.
No, but that's what I signed up for, right? That's if you as a counselor, it's a small microphone, but you still have a voice that a lot of people don't have.
Yep.
And I think if you're not using that voice to advocate for the things that you think are important, and especially one of the best parts about seeing Smith Falls thrive over the last few years is how willing and how open we've been to sharing that with the people that haven't been a part of that boom. We've, you look at the affordable housing, we haven't seen the kind of NIMBY pushback to those initiatives that you sometimes read about in other communities.
Right.
When you look at the food hub, huge support towards that. When you look at all the charitable funding that's come out through golf tournaments and all of these things that happen that to support the community, I think there's been a special focus on people that haven't been able to ride the wave. And that's one of those things I love about Smith Falls. I feel like it's a part of the fabric of the community. So, if anything, this situation was exceptional, that it didn't work out, and it's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, I kind of got to step back with the humility to say it wasn't meant to be. And, and I did what I felt called to do at the time.
But those kind of actions too, I think that they can have, echoed effects down the line.
Well, and this is I think you
don't yell at the umpire because you actually believe you're going to change his mind. Yeah. But he might think twice the next time he's about to make a bad call.
When I think it gets the conversation out there, it definitely brings that conversation to light. I think, on a larger scale, you see it with because it's like we're talking about a Catholic church. Mm-hmm. The Pope just left Canada on the reconciliation tour. The conversations that have come up through that, I know not everybody's happy with there's all kinds of things that still need to be done. But the voice that was given and putting that to the top of the conversation over the last week, I think was important, whether or not it checked all the boxes and whether or not I'm sure more is going to come from it. I was really honored to be able to be there on Thursday for the Mass in Quebec City or in Saint Anne de Beaupré.
Oh yeah.
And to see, there's a huge Indigenous, group that, different communities from all over the country that were there, and to get to talk with some of them and see and share in that pain and that, in something that, has been such a negative part of Canadian history that we haven't been able to really properly address yet. I don't think that it can fix everything, but I definitely think that it can be a first step, and that's where all of this stuff comes together, right?
Totally.
But yeah, that was I don't think I've cried that much. I don't remember the last time. It was a hard morning, and I have nothing to be, I'm just there as as an ally, I guess. Mm-hmm. The courage of those people it really shook me to the core for sure.
Yeah. So with this election coming up that we've talked about a number of times, what are the issues going to be?
Oh, it's going to be this bridge.
The bridge? Is that going to be the hot button issue? The bridge?
It was a hot button issue in the last election. Yeah. I think it's going to be a hot button issue in this election. What's the deal with the bridge?
I don't even know. I hear about it talked about all the time. I don't even know the scoop about this stupid bridge.
So we have a bridge, and it's a steel member bridge. This is where my kind of engineering side and my council side, these are the kind of things that I love about the job, is you get to have an influence on this kind of stuff, and you get to read it before anybody else. Mm-hmm. Well, at the same time as everybody else, but you get to talk about it. So you've got a bridge, and the bridge is meant to have pieces come off it and replaced year after year, because maybe this year this piece of steel wears out or this rivet wears out, and it's just, and then it lasts in perpetuity almost.
Yeah.
The last major rehab on the bridge was in 1986. So it was a while ago, and the maintenance was postponed, and there's no judgment on why the maintenance was postponed. Asset management plans weren't the same kind of thing as they are today. There's been a lot of direction from the province on how to manage assets, because, things weren't, not Smith Falls, but province wide, assets weren't being renewed. Mm-hmm. So for whatever reason, we get to, I think it was 2015, which is before my time on council and just after I got back from school. The bridge is in such a state that it has to be closed because it's condemned now. It's not safe for people to go over it. And then the deck is removed from it to take the weight off it, because just the weight of the bridge could pull it down.
Yeah.
it's a pony truss bridge, which means there's no connecting pieces of steel between the two sides of it. And it's a worn truss on the side trusses. So those two pieces that are up. The problem is at this point, they're so rusted apart. They've had the road salt on them every winter for 100 years. There's nothing left to fix. So at first the Heritage Committee was hoping a rehab would be suitable. And, there's nothing left. The pictures in the report, you can see it. You can see holes right through pieces of steel that used to be half an inch thick.
Yeah.
So here we go. So now we got to take down what's there. It can't be replaced.
Gotcha.
We got a report at the beginning of our term of council saying that we could clone it. We could get steel that is just like the steel we have, and basically like a Lego set, rebuild what we had, put it back up, and there we go. And that was going to cost $1.2 million.
Okay. Pretty
good price. So at the same time, we've been doing all these traffic studies to see, okay, what is the purpose of this asset? How many cars go over it? This would be the foundation of a grant writing document if we were going to go that route. But there's no traffic purpose for it. And now that we installed the turning lane on Lombard and Abbott intersection, where that used to get backed up, like you probably even remember in your short time here before that, like it'd be half an hour waiting there. But now, the bridge opens, it's 10 minutes or less and you're through.
Yeah.
So if you go around, the calculation is that you're going to spend more time driving around, more gas driving around than just sitting there for the 5 minutes waiting it out.
Right.
So there's no, there's a minimal traffic advantage to having it there. And if more cars start using it, the Ministry of Transportation, from my understanding, says that we'll have to make it one way. So we decide to make it one way out, one way in. Then if there's too many cars going out into the intersection, we need to put a set of lights there. So it's this whole rabbit hole of spending money on something. Yeah. Either no cars use it and it's not needed, or too many cars use it and we need all this other stuff that, is hard to see that situation.
But you can't just leave it there to rot more because it's going to fall.
It's got to come down.
Yeah.
It's got to come down. The question is, do we replace it with anything or not? We could replace it with a pedestrian bridge. We could replace it with a vehicle pedestrian bridge. And this is where the debate came Monday night that got, it's a contentious issue. So, we look to the waterfront master plan that we paid for 10 years ago. They recommended closing Confederation Drive between the Murphy Park building, where the Pickled Pigs got the setup, and the parking lot along the water there, all those parking spots. Make that park connected, make it all park space. And then to compensate for that traffic that has to get around, extend Strathcona Avenue, it's the dead end, onto Mill Road, and now you've got your bypass.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense to me. There's some grading issues that, you need to do a report on it to know the engineering for it. But to me, that makes a lot of sense. So the part I left out here is the prices that came back from the $1.2 million we were expecting from the last report. Now it's $3 million, 2.5 without the abutments. So saying about $500,000 for the abutments, which I think is fair. We're talking $3 million on an asset that isn't in the asset management plan. It just provides no value to town. So the question we've got to figure out is this the best place to put $3 million that we haven't really budgeted for? It's, to put it into perspective, our annual operating budget is $20 million. So we'd have to take over 10% of 1 year's money. Or another way to look at it is there's about 4,500 residential units in Smith Falls. Yep. So we could charge everyone about $700 one-time fee to that's what it would cost everybody. When you've got no engineering case to really back up the need for it as a vehicle bridge, it's really hard to put that kind of money down. So yeah, these are the things that's going to be an election issue for sure. There's a lot of people in town that want to keep it a traffic bridge, and anecdotally, there's a real attachment to it. It's got sentimental value behind it. It's been there for 100 years.
Yeah.
And there's this perceived notion that if it was there would be less traffic as a whole, but it's just not what the studies have and like 10 years of different, you know what I mean? Not every year, but consistently for the last 10 years of studies.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard to, I found it's very hard to convince members of the general public who just have their own ideas with like data, with civil engineering data. Most people aren't generally aware that civil engineering is even something that people go to school for and apply actual scientific research-based principles for determining outcomes. And, it's not a perfect science, but
it's
never nothing.
It's never a compelling, eloquent, you never feel the data the way you feel something else. And it's the hardest part of I think politics right now is you see it in the GTA with the highways, right? Mm-hmm. We just elected a super majority government based on building highways in the 905 that there doesn't, to me, from somebody outside of that circle, there doesn't seem to be a reason for. If we build more lanes, like you look at Houston, they've built as many lanes as you can build, and they're still not getting anywhere in any kind of speed. So why do we keep doubling down, and why do we subsidize the road differently than we subsidize the train or any other kind of transportation, right?
Yeah.
Like these systems are just, everybody likes the familiarity of what they know, and that's the last experience they had that was as seamless as possible, I guess.
You think we'll ever see any public transpo in this town?
That's a good question. I don't know at 10,000 people you've got that critical mass for it. I know in the past they've tried doing a bus that would run kind of up and down, like out to the mall and back.
Yeah.
But it never seemed to have the uptake of enough people wanting to go in the same place at the same time. Mm-hmm. It's interesting to see in the old Smith Falls book. Have you had a chance to see the Smith Falls book?
I have it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like it's the coolest thing, right? It goes to about 1990. But there's some stuff in there about, I think it was in the 30s, everybody was biking everywhere.
Okay.
So we haven't always used the car.
I mean, 1920s, 1930s, who's going to own a car? Not many people.
Well, this is it. And
they had a lot of them, but it wasn't like the vehicle explosion in the 50s and 60s.
And I guess a bike could be easier to manage and afford than a horse. But I don't know. Like when I look next door to Carlton Place, where they've built out these communities for the car, you're getting incredible gridlock happening at rush hours along the Highway 7 corridor, right? Because these communities have been built to be there's one bottleneck outlet to each neighborhood instead of the grid system that it used to be built on, and it just. I don't think it works. Like we're still trying to build to a 1980s standard that we know it just doesn't create a desirable place to live. Yeah. So how do you win over hearts with that one? I don't know.
So a bridge, hot button issue number 1.
Yeah.
What's the next issue, you think? What's your prediction for the next issue? It's going to enthrall people.
This is a dangerous game. I think that the taxes in Smith Falls are going to be an issue.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
Because there's a lot of people, there's a huge inequality right now. MPAC is the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation.
Yeah.
They haven't readjusted their assessment since 2016. Mm-hmm. So in places that have been relatively stable, it doesn't really matter. In a place like Smith Falls, my house on McEwen is still evaluated in the 180 range. Mm-hmm. There's houses with, down by the water with park, adjacent to the park that are evaluated closer to the 100,000 range. You've got neighborhoods in Ferreira Drive that are brand new, so they were evaluated on the sale price, and they're paying they could be evaluated at $300,000-$400,000. So when the average assessment in Smith Falls is $160,000, and your house was worth $300,000 because that's what it sold for, even though maybe houses on my street went for the same price, we should be paying relatively the same. You're paying way too much, and it's a really hard issue because it's not as simple as just cutting the tax rate. If it was that easy, we would have done it already.
Yeah.
It's getting the province to do whatever they do. And this is where it's like a black box, to get these assessments back up to where they are. Yeah. And then in Smith Falls, our tax rate goes from 180 or 160 average to 220. Then we can lower the tax rate.
Yeah, and get the same amount. Yeah,
yeah, because there's two parts to the equation. I think that it's always an issue, right? Some people are paying too much in town.
Taxes are pretty high here. Everybody knows that.
Yep,
that's no secret for sure.
Yep.
But I mean, I understand it too, because I mean, I didn't at first. And I asked the question. I was like, well, it costs the same to plow a mile of road here as it does in somewhere with 5 times the property values. So the taxes just have to be higher on lower values. So, but less taxes, I think, would make a lot of people happy.
Well, I think that'll be the great thing about catching up is going to be that the next council, whoever's on it, is going to get to have I'm guessing, our assessments are going to go up. Mm-hmm. So they're going to be able to say they brought the tax rate down. It's a little bit of creative accounting, right? But yeah. And the corporate taxes are stronger now than they've been. Hopefully, we don't see a recession that affects that or anything, but that's kind of getting back to more normal than what had been before. For the issues, of things that I think are important that need to be pushed forward, we just got an accessibility advisory committee got off the ground in the last term of council, and they've been looking at the park. So the first section they did was Abbott Street to George Street on the little section of park by the water treatment plant.
Yep.
They came up with I think there's 15 to 20 things. They can't even get in there because there's a curb. There's no accessible entrance to that section of park.
Right.
The hard surface just goes towards the water. So if you couldn't brake, you'd go right into the water. There's no railing. The bridge has a gravel surface connecting to the concrete, but that doesn't connect to anything. So they've got some really cool stuff I think is important. And then this term of council, we approved an active transportation plan, which is the big picture. Where do we need more sidewalks? Where do we need bike lanes? Where do we need, how can we tweak the infrastructure we have to make it safe and accessible for people to get around without a car? And the number one spot that needs to be fixed is Old Slice Bridge. I don't know if you had a chance to walk over there, but it's awful.
I don't think I've ever walked it.
So I've
driven across it.
So you've got no real sidewalk on either side, but it's a huge connecting link for people that want to walk into that side of town, right? It's the river crossing for that whole section. And there's no real, there's no great way to get across there without having to walk on the side of the road. And then you get up on the bridge, and the bridge only has a sidewalk on one side.
Right. I kind of get that feeling over on Abbott too, because you got that nice bridge that at first I'm like, well, why can't they give me my little footbridge just over that little extra piece of water? Obviously they can't because boats have to get through. So I get that. But then you have to go up, and then you have to you're right there, and that side doesn't have a sidewalk.
Yeah, no. And
so you have to cross to the other, you have to push the button and wait. And if I'm just trying to get to the other side of the water, that means I have to go across the crosswalk to use the sidewalk, to then use the crosswalk to get back over to the park.
Yeah.
I've got to cross a road that I shouldn't have to cross. I should just be able to use that side of the bridge and then be over the park.
No, there's no pedestrian crossing. You press the button, the lights turn on.
Yeah.
But in this grand plan, there's they want to have a walking trail that basically goes up one side of the canal and down the other. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I think is really important. It's one of those things that elevates the asset to the next level, where somebody parks their boat and they know, maybe they're a runner, they know they can get that, whatever it is, 5 clicks or 10 clicks, whatever they want to do. And we've got a well-maintained asset for them. Lighting the trails is another part of it, because you think of November, it's dark at 4 o'clock. Yeah. If people want to be able, if that trail is going to be accessible into the evening, it needs a light on it. And even in the summer months, it's better for keeping it lit. Just keeps vandalism and people don't want to congregate in areas that are well lit.
Yeah, I'm all for more like trails and bike lanes and walking paths and things that make it just all that much easier to travel and navigate this town by foot or by bike or skateboard or rollerblade or scooter or anything like that. It's have you ever been to Amsterdam?
Yeah.
Like that's
worst place to go with your family.
Well, your family that may not, with kids or a big family that in group of people that isn't used to the way things work there. But like, it took me a second, it took me a minute to get used to like just navigating that city. But once I did, it was just so cool the way that everybody just understands the game over there. You know, it's like bikes have the right of way. Secondary to that, people on foot have the right of way. And the only reason they put people on bikes above people on foot is because you're going to get too many pedestrians crashed into by bicycles. Otherwise, they move faster and they do more damage. But cars are last. And cars, and everybody accepts that. Nobody's getting mad at bikers. They're just being patient and waiting. Because they've made their choice and they know their third peg. And you can get it was just seas of people on bikes just zipping by all the time. Bikes, you know. I'd sooner spend $3 million sending like as many people from this town for a weekend trip to Amsterdam versus fixing up some rusty bridge we don't need. Because then that might, change a few light bulbs. It's like, it doesn't matter. Toronto, Dallas, doesn't matter how many lanes you add, how many parking spots you add, driving and traffic is still going to suck.
Yeah.
It's always bad. Like, that's an engineering problem nobody seems to have solved yet, aside from people who have been like, yeah, we just need to have less cars and entice the non-car options.
Philosophically, the car has been a negative force in communities since it became mainstream, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think of the communities that were bulldozed to put the freeway through. You think of places where people used to interact in the square, and if you're on a bike, you get the nod, or you're interacting with people as you walk around. Now you're in the car, you don't have that same interaction. I don't know that. I don't know how much longer we can keep this up, right? We can see other places that are doing it slightly differently. We can see that the car is having a negative effect on the environment, on social interactions, on all these aspects that factor into quality of life. But it's really comfortable. If it was raining today, I don't know that I would have taken my bike here instead of my car.
You know what I think would be good in this town? Rickshaws.
That'd be cool. I'd love to see those scooters. Like, you go to Ottawa, the Lime,
rental
whatever it
ones?
is.
Yeah.
Like, if the Chamber of Commerce got a bunch of those down in Victoria Park, and you could go to the Railway Museum, go to the Heritage House, zip up the main street at lunch.
Well, Bill's got some bikes for rent.
Yeah.
E-bikes at that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got e-bikes.
Huh.
He's got a couple of e-bikes. Yeah, you can do it.
I remember everybody said nobody will bike up that hill if we put the bike lane in. And it's like, they have gears, We and I can't sit on that street.
It's a trade-off too. Sure, you got to bike up it, but then you get to ride down it.
Oh, you feel like $1 million when you're going down that. You got to be careful you don't get too much speed. So yeah, I don't know. These are the kind of things where it's amazing how somebody can make a really compelling case for something, and that becomes the issue. It happens every day, right? And who knows what could happen. Sometimes an event happens that creates an issue. So I don't know. It's interesting. It's really interesting because it's not like we've got on a national scale where the polls this week are 30% this, 40% that. Really, the only time you get a poll in a small town is the election night. And by then it's too late to maneuver or change anything. Yeah. So I'm really interested to see whether I'm on the ballot or not, October 24th, I'm going to be there.
Yeah. I think it's going to be one of the most interesting ones for this town yet. At this point of where we're at, post-COVID, everything's opening up again. Everybody's wanting to get back to stuff.
Yep.
You know? Yeah, I think if the timing had worked out to have a new election like right in the middle of COVID, that there probably wouldn't even be that much attention to paid to it. You know, it'd probably just be like, it's something, it's a procedure we have to go through, and we probably would wind up with just sort of 99% recycling.
I don't know. Like they were still protesting.
Yeah, I don't know either.
There were still protests through COVID.
Yeah, a little bit. That seems to be fairly over at this point. I mean, I guess maybe they're just gearing up to try and shoot their shot and cast their new votes. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Thanks for doing my podcast, man. We're at 2 hours.
No way.
Yeah, we're at 2 hours and 7 minutes. That's my 2 hours. 2 hours zone is kind of my hard cutoff for these. So
wow.
I think we've covered some good topics, and I've gotten to know you a little better.
Yeah, this is.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for inviting me.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. This is first. Yeah, interesting experience.
Yeah, awesome. Chris McGuire, council person, Smiths Falls, born and raised. Thank you very much, man. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Matt. Cheers.
And that was my chat with Mr. Chris McGuire. Thanks so much for tuning in, Smiths Falls, and thank you once again to our 3 sponsors, Andrus Independent Grocer, Howard Kelford and Dubois, Barristers and Solicitors, and Say2 Bakery. Without you guys, the show would not be possible. See you next time, Smiths Falls, and until then, take care.
I know that now that I have met you, Veronique, I shall not forget you. I will